Hi, I'm Heather Hubbard. I went from being a lawyer and partner at one of the largest firms in America to becoming an online personality and successful entrepreneur. I know what it takes to rise to the top. I also know all too well the toll it can take on your health and personal life. So, how do you shine bright without burning out? How do you chase joy while achieving success? You're listening to the Hustle and Flow podcast. Welcome back to Hustle and Flow. I am your host, Heather Hubbard, and we have a very special week ahead of us. It is officially day one of the Get It Done Challenge. We have been hosting these since 2017, I believe, and I'm so excited to be doing this again. We've not done it in a while, and there could not be a better time. And if you're thinking, this is actually a terrible time, I disagree. Here's why. We already have so much on our plates. We have so much on our minds all the time. In a typical world, in a normal world, if we even know what that means anymore, we would have all of these things that we want to do for the holidays. We want to create special memories, special events, special moments, and we want to reach our year-end goals. If you were like me and you are an entrepreneur, you have certain revenue goals that you are trying to reach, get certain projects out. If you are a professional service provider, I remember back when I used to practice law, we had to hit certain billable requirements to get certain bonuses. We had to collect a certain amount of money. And so you too might be trying to reach those goals. And even if you are an employee in corporate America, even if you don't have certain revenue goals that's related to you, you still probably have some goals that you are trying to accomplish. If not, at least get work done, get a project done, meet those deadlines so that you can take time off for the holidays. So we're all in the same boat in that we have so much we want to do, so much to get done. And then now, after the election, I think many of us are feeling, well, so many different things. But for those of us who are joyful warriors and feel the need to roll up our sleeves, or perhaps feel just really defeated and deflated and feel like nothing matters and nothing works, the Get It Done Challenge is going to help you with all of that, So regardless of what you're feeling in any given moment, it may change each and every day. That's how the process of grief works. And we are definitely grieving. So we are going to do our best. We are going to show up each day. We are going to be joyful. We are going to have fun. We are not going to let this moment take us out. And we are going to lean into prioritizing what matters most to us so that we are not taken out, which may or may not be the goal for others. Hard to tell sometimes, right? But we're not going to let that happen. And if we're feeling the need to go ahead and start strategizing and rolling up our sleeves to be really pragmatic about how to continue the fight for justice and equality in our democracy, then we've got a lot. We've got a lot to do. And it can be so easy to feel completely overwhelmed and anxious by it all. And again, that's on a normal day, a normal year. I think that is even more so now that we know that Trump is going to come into office again in January. So just saying that feels heavy, right? It's like, ugh. So let's get some stuff done. All right. Here is your challenge for today. Here is your challenge for today. It is the brain dump exercise. And if you have been doing Get It Done challenges with me before, you know what this is. If you are new around here, welcome. We are so glad that you are here. I'm going to share what this looks like. And even if you did it before, you still may want the reminder and how it's actually going to work when you think about things in terms of just social justice and political activism. So what we want to do is we want to give our brains, our minds, the signal that we've got it handled. Because when we tell our brain that things are important to us, or that we are worried about it, or we are anxious, it is going to spend all of its time and energy and effort in making sure that you continue to think about it and process it and get it done. If you don't have it down, your brain is going to continue to try to remind you, which is why you'll be asleep in the middle of the night and think that you are not worried and anxious about things, but you wake up thinking about things, worried about things, because you might have actually been trying to push it down, ignore it, pretend it's not there, just move on. But you actually do have that thought. You have that feeling. And so your brain is like, you aren't paying attention to this. You need to pay attention to this. Even with the worries and the fears related to the election, there's also just your to-do list. We all have so much to do, and it's hard to keep up with it all. We feel like there is so much, and we will also wake up in the middle of the night going, forgot this. Our brain is always trying to help us out. So if we don't want it to be in control of us, if we don't want our to-do list to be in control of us, then we have to be in control of it. And the first step that we have to take to do that is to get it all down. If your to-do list is living rent-free in your mind, you are always going to feel exhausted, overwhelmed, and like it cannot get done. So what we're going to do is we're going to get it down. You have a few options on this. One, you can just pull out a pad of paper, a journal, and just write it down. Just start doing lists. You don't have to worry about categories. You don't have to worry about organizing it. You just keep writing it down. And you're going to continue, right? So if something else pops up in the middle of the day, you just keep writing it down. And we're going to do this throughout the week. Just keep documenting the thoughts of what you need to do. Another way to do this is to do it on a computer. So because we are going to do some organizing tomorrow, so if that's going to be easier for you to cut and paste, you can do it on a computer. That actually bogs me down. I don't like it, but it is an option for you. And then I have our trusty Post-it notes behind us. This could also be a fun way. What I want you to do is to try to make this as fun as possible, as creative and light and bright as possible, as opposed to feeling heavy and burdensome. Because when you start trying to get everything down, it may feel that way. So if using Post-it notes, especially colorful Post-it notes, if that's helpful for you, do it. Fill up an entire room, fill up your whole office with all of these Post-it notes of all the things that you've got to do. So, and when I say all the things, I mean all the things. I want you to think about things like grocery shopping, right? If that's on your mind, like I got to get milk, write it down. Even if you're like, well, I'm already going to do that this afternoon, write it down. Everything from big term things, right? Like long-term things, your 401k, your retirement, your will. If you think of things like that, write it down. If you don't, then that's not your to-do list. I'm not saying anything should be on your to-do list. I'm just trying to give you examples of what might be. If you're having the thought, if you're like, I really need to do this, then it needs to go down there. Okay. Also, for your work, so that you can take off on the holidays, so that you can reach your year-end goals, so that you can meet deadlines, write all of those things down. Anything that you're like, this has got to get done, write it down. Then you've got the holidays. Maybe it's planning the Thanksgiving dinner. Who's in charge? Who's coming? Where are we hosting it? How are we going to get there? Are we going to travel back home to be around our family? Like all the things, having a therapy appointment right before and right after you have family Thanksgiving, whatever that looks like for you, write it down. Similarly, anything that is coming up with you with the election, maybe you're having thoughts of, I need to look into how to immigrate. I need to look at what it looks like to be an expat. I want to buy a gun. And that may sound like, wait, what? I have some friends who are like, I think I got to get a gun. Do I support that? No. But here's the thing about your Get It Done Challenge brain dump. No judgment, zero judgment. Anything and everything goes. If you're having the thought, get it down. Get it down. It doesn't matter what your friends think. It doesn't matter what your family thinks. It doesn't really even matter what you think. If you're having the thought, now is not the time to actually vet it. Now is not the time to determine, is this the good strategy? Is this the right strategy? Is this what I should be doing? That is not the purpose of the brain dump. The purpose of the brain dump is to document all of these thoughts that are swirling around in your mind so that your brain knows we're on it. We'll figure it out. You don't have to do it for me. I can do it myself. Okay. Because it's when our brain takes over that it runs amok. So we're just getting it down. Maybe you're thinking, I've just got to start getting more active. Maybe I need to run for politics. I, want to quit my job because of this. Whatever it is, just get it down. Okay. So you might have 10 stickies. You might have 10,000. There's really no right or wrong. It is simply getting down all of those thoughts that are living rent free in your mind and consuming your every waking and possibly sleeping moment. Get it down. I highly encourage you to just take time and do as much as possible. If you don't have unlimited time to do this, then just set a timer and go through the most obvious things that are coming up for you. You have to make this work with whatever is going on in your life. But I think most of us, if we're committed to this and really want to get in front of it, we do have the time to keep documenting and to, again, just do it throughout the day as more things come up. Let's talk about prizes. I love to give away prizes. Now, you can do this challenge by listening or watching on YouTube, the podcast every day, and then just taking the action. Like you could just do that. That will work. If, however, you want more support, and if, however, you want to potentially win prizes, then you got some more steps. I'm going to be on YouTube Live each and every day this week at 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you have signed up for the challenge at getitdonechallenge.com, you're getting the emails, and the emails have links, and not just to my YouTube, but to the actual live stream that is going to happen. So when I go live, you have the link to get exactly to that spot. You don't have to look around for it. What we'll do on those videos, if you've done this before, you know how it works. But if you're new around here, it might be a new concept as to what we're going to be doing. And it really is a time and a place for you to come, and you can leave comments. You can chat with me in real time to let me know what's coming up for you. You may have questions about the process. You may have frustrations. You may have some aha moments. Anything that's coming up for you, you can drop it in there, and I'll be there to support you. The whole community will be there to support you. And I'll also be there to answer your questions and provide more tips and tricks along the way. If you want to win a prize, so we have daily prizes, and then there's the grand prize. So with our daily prizes, you can win a regular ticket to the Planning Extravaganza. That is on December 5th. And so the Get It Done Challenge is all about the rest of the year. It's really just about taming that to-do list in your mind. When we meet for the Planning Extravaganza, I have a very specific process that I will take you through that helps you identify your priorities, the big priorities for next year, for 2025. So this is all about finishing out the year, and the December 5 Planning Extravaganza is all about prepping for 2025. And that may look very different now for us, right? So, and again, that'll be a fun, festive environment with more prizes, but that is $197. Someone's going to win that absolutely free. And then we have the business bundle version of the Planning Extravaganza, and that is on December 5th. And then you get an additional day, December 6th. That's $497. So if you win the prize and you prefer the business version, you can take the value of $197 and apply that so that you get the discount. And then the grand prize, if you participate every single day, you will be in the running for a business bundle ticket, which is $497. Or if you want the regular, that's fine. And you also get $3,497 credit towards one of my programs. If you've been around here for a while, you may have been eyeing a program. And so you're like, yeah, I want that. For those of you who are new, you might be like, I don't want credit to buy any of your programs. And I hear you. And At the end of the week, you may feel differently. So if you go ahead and do it now, right, you don't ever have to use it, but you won't be in the running if you make a decision on the front end that you're not interested and then later change your mind. So the way that you get your entry in is number one, you have to have signed up for the Get It Done Challenge through the Get It Done Challenge website. So getitdonechallenge.com. That's step one. And then step two is you go to the email for the day and it's going to tell you exactly what to do for an entry that day. So the prompt for today, the entry for today is to follow me on Instagram, Heather Joy Hubbard, and then make sure that you post. It can be a story, it can be a reel, it can be a post. It can be a picture, it can be a video, get creative, have fun, but something that shows you participating in the Get It Done Challenge. So maybe it's Post-its, maybe it's a pen and paper, maybe it's watching the YouTube live. It's really whatever you want. Just make sure it is public. If you have a private account, we will not see it and it will not count. We just can't see it, basically. So if for this week you want to have a public account, like make it non-private, then that will allow us to see it. Or if you choose to stay private, that's totally cool, right? You're still going to get the benefit of all of the work that we're doing here, but you won't be eligible for prizes simply because we can't count it. If we can't see it, we can't count it. And if you ever have a question about whether or not you're doing it right, you can reach out to support@heatherjoyhubbard.com just to make sure that we did see it. And then you'll know going forward that you're in good shape. So that is it. That is day one. And this particular episode is a little bit longer than all of the others that are coming for the rest of the week, simply because it is day one. But I am so glad you are here. Let's get it done and let's have a joyful week. All right. See you on the YouTube Live this afternoon. Thank you so much for joining me for this week's podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, give the episode a like and leave a comment below so we can keep the conversation going. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss a future episode or announcement. Listening on Apple, Spotify, or another podcast app, you can watch the video and join in the after show conversation by visiting hustleandflowpodcast.com.